Hello and welcome to Xbox Classics. In this installment, the game is Return to Castle Wolfenstein: Tides of War. Released in 2003, developed by Nerve Software and originally created by Grey Matter Studios. Return to Castle Wolfenstein was originally released in 2001 for the PC, and 2 years later for the console versions, both the PS2 and Xbox. The new console version added a new prologue, sort of tidied the game up a little bit with better textures and better things like that. And if you're going to play the original Return to Castle Wolfenstein, the Xbox version is probably the best way to do it. And that's because the Xbox version was built from the ground up to take advantage of what the Xbox could do, whereas the PC original was using PC architecture that was 2 years old by the time this game came out. It really is quite impressive for the original Xbox, and I think it's one of the most best-aged first-person shooters for the system. Now, Return to Castle Wolfenstein is a direct sequel to Wolfenstein 3D, which is one of the most popular and most famous first-person shooters of the early 90s, developed by id and, before they did Doom. So, yeah, this game is pretty damn amazing. On Xbox, it runs in 480p and runs far better than the PS2 version does. But it will also run on the Xbox 360, so if you have a 360 and not the original Xbox, you still can play it. But the 360 version, or on the 360, there is some occasional frame rate issues that are not present if you play on an original Xbox. So if you can, play on an original Xbox. So I'm going to skip the prologue missions added to this game, added to the Xbox version, and I'm going to go right into the castle. The cutscenes all look fantastic, even, after all this time. But unfortunately, the Xbox plays the cutscenes at a very low volume. I've tried to turn the volume way up. You can barely tell. Here's an awesome voice. Tony J, may he rest in peace.
Well, Jack, have we heard anything?
Yes, sir. We've just received a coded transmission from Kessler, our contact in the Kreisau Circle.
And?
Both agents have been captured and are being held in Castle Wolfenstein.
Damn. Call a meeting, Jack.
Yes, sir.
I love that voice. It's just so damn good.
All right, gentlemen. Now let's go through it again by the numbers. What did we miss?
Well, here's what we know. This is Castle Wolfenstein, located in the Harz Mountains of northern Germany, property of Heinrich Himmler. Now, we've known of the existence of Castle Wolfenstein for some time, but we've only recently heard reports from our Kreisau Circle contacts in the German resistance regarding bizarre occult rituals taking place there.
Anyway, I'm going to skip all that and get into the game proper.
Come in, Sergeant. Come in. Your orders, Herr Doctor. Go and get the other one. This one is almost finished. Jawohl. Now, let's try it again, shall we? Who do you work for?
Now, of course, it's quite silly and, rather humorous that the Germans are speaking English with a German accent, as opposed to just simply speaking German with subtitles. But I guess it's one of those things that you just have to forgive about this game, because it otherwise is so damn good. You play as BJ Blazkowicz, who was the original character from Wolfenstein 3D. Although, like I said, this is one of the best aged games for the Xbox, aged first-person shooters, I should say. The controls do take a bit of getting used to if you have not played a first-person shooter like this in a while. For one thing, you have no iron sights. clicking the left trigger allows you to jump. You have no way of aiming. You just have whatever you see right here as your aiming mechanism. So there's your buddy, but he's already dead, so... Admit it, if you've ever played this game, you've done that, at least once. If not twice. It is a cool effect. So we're gonna go in. With just my Luger here. I want the MP40. You might not think that the controls would be that great given that this was originally intended for PC, but the controls actually work very well for the Xbox. Your movement being your left stick and aiming with the right stick. You click the right stick inward to activate doors and such. Fire, reload, jump, all that good stuff. We even have a very take that, a very Duke Nukem 3D kick. It's pretty easy to tell when the guards have been alerted to your presence by the music. I thought someone was coming after me. Guess not. Nazis are very overdone, and World War II first-person shooters are a dime a dozen. But when this came out, it really wasn't overdone. This is definitely one of the masters of the genre. That's how strong my boots are. Kick brick doors open. Well, it's not even a door, it's a wall. Kill those dudes, walk over here, continue onward. This is definitely a classic first-person shooter, and it's easily one of my favorite games for the original Xbox. It's not too expensive to pick up nowadays, so if you don't own it and you like what you see, you should be able to pick it up for, $4, $6, something like that. And it's a great classic. It's very much single-player focused, although there was a multiplayer online added function for the Xbox version. Of course, you can't play that anymore, so, you buy it as a single-player game, and it won't disappoint there.
Where is everyone? Half the castle guard is missing. That's because the Major just doubled the guard around the dig site again. Sounds like a bad case of nerves to me. Have you seen the Major lately? He looks positively ill.
I love the voice acting.
I know. According to Otto, he and Frau von Bülow had some big disagreement over security. I suppose it really shook him up.
Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.